please. Don't worry, there's nothing wrong. The brothers Meredith will be back soon. Hang on, hang on, hang on, please. Hang on, hang on, hang on, please. Don't worry, there's nothing wrong. The brothers Meredith will be back soon. Hang on, hang on, hang on, please. Hang on, hang on, hang on, please. Don't worry, there's nothing wrong. The brothers Meredith will be back soon. Hang on, hang on, hang on, please. Hang on, hang on, hang on, please. Don't worry, there's nothing wrong. The brothers Meredith will be back soon. Hang on, hang on, hang on, please. Hang on, hang on, hang on, please. Don't worry, there's nothing wrong. The brothers Meredith will be back soon. Hang on, hang on, hang on, please. Hang on, hang on, hang on, please. Don't worry, there's nothing wrong. The brothers Meredith will be back soon. Hang on, hang on, hang on, please. Hang on, hang on, hang on, please. Don't worry, there's nothing wrong. The brothers Meredith will be back soon. Hang on, hang on, hang on, please. Hang on, hang on, hang on, please.
Now that should work.
Can you hear us now? We're working on it.
That should now work. Amy, could you speak
Yes,
again?
they said yes.
Lovely. Lovely. For some reason, it needed the microphone selecting for a second time. We're really very pink.
We are very pink, but you set it up.
Well, it wasn't this pink, and then it went live, and now it's justified more to pink. I wanted it to be a warmer tone. Hang on. There we go. I just backed off it ever so slightly. I think something in the camera was like, "Whoa, time for all pink." This light is no more than a special pale lavender, and yet it was reading as a full beefy magenta.
Well, now we've got a problem.
What?
Well, I need the microphone in front of me.
Yeah.
I also need to see the laptop, and the microphone is in front of the laptop.
Sort it out.
Chat, how many of you want him here? He's in a bad mood.
I'm so tired.
He's being shitty to me.
I have no solutions for you.
Gonna.
I mean, you can sit here.
Well, I want my laptop there. Can I put my laptop
Yeah, put it there.
Then I can see.
There
Then
you
I
go.
can look past it that way. There we go. We've solved that problem.
You
He can
think
leave.
Amy's mic isn't on?
My mic isn't on.
Oh, for fuck's sake, this is the wrong microphone. Oh, God. Oh, I tapped it and everything, and it was like, yeah, I'm the right one. Turns out it's not the right one. Yeah, okay, sure. It's this one.
I think when we take the audio from this, we'll cut this bit.
Oh, yeah. We'll start again. Okay, try again.
Very much prime unintended shenanigans. Taco, it is what it is.
That should work.
Better? Cool.
Yeah. Oh yeah, but we would like the sound to be better on this. Okay. So let's start it so we've got like a fucking start to the podcast.
Okay.
When we clip this, we're just gonna wait for this motorbike to fuck off. Oh, very impressed. Thank you. Hello everyone, and welcome to the International Folklore edition of, well, two formats. This is being streamed, but also you may be hearing it in your ears.
I feel like someone who is watching should be given our personal details. Not in a doxing manner, but just in case we both collapse live on stream, then someone can call us help.
We're both independently very unwell.
Yeah. I believe deep in my soul that I have some sort of virus, but I am just very chronically ill rather than having a virus, because that's how my body responds to being very ill. Yeah. And Tim is, I believe, just incredibly tired.
It's just been some days. It's been some days. And it will continue to be some days. I've got shows all this week.
But we promised you content, god damn it.
And we will spoon this content into your gaping mouth like a big evil baby.
We will deliver the content whilst hating everyone with our entire beings.
We will deliver on the promises that we put forward in our manifesto of hatred.
Pezzy, we're here because I'm this sick all the fucking time. If we don't do things when I'm ill, we just don't do things.
You know what? Maybe we won't put this out as a podcast because it'll be 20 minutes of us going, oh God, we're ill. 20 minutes of us just talking to the chat and then a little bit of folklore.
I think we'll put the podcast out, but we'll start it when we get to the folklore.
Yeah.
It'll be fine.
We'll edit it down. Edit it down. Thanks, evil babies. Because also what I don't want to do is just to talk to the chat in a way that is impossible to listen to. So that basically there'll have to be a point where we go, cool, we're not going to talk directly to the chat.
Verissima says, no, I will keep talking to the chat.
But so we have to.
But in the context of folklore specifically.
Yeah, we have to basically say what they said so that it makes sense to a podcast audience who can't see the chat.
He's just telling me what to do as if I've never done this before. As if I haven't also been doing it for 5 years.
No, yeah, well, I'll just leave it. Off you go.
What was I going to say? I was going to reply to someone. Verissima says, why are they guilt tripping us? And I would just like to refer you to my parents. That's where I learnt it.
Jesus Christ. This is off the rails so quickly.
This is how your streams start.
Yeah, but I'm not usually turning you into podcasts.
Pezzy says, fuck you, Tim, specifically.
Oh, you read that one out?
I have been reading them out.
We also can't sip into the microphone so aggressively.
Oh my God, Tim.
All I would pray to is Sam. If Sam was watching.
We haven't started yet.
Okay, fine.
I'm going to sip my drink.
We're just going to sip our drinks into the microphones.
Sorry, okay. So I will specifically, when we get started, I will say fuck you, Tim, specifically again, so that the podcast gets to hear.
They have to know.
Fuck you, Tim, specifically.
They have to know.
Let Amy sip.
God forbid women sip. Look, part of my job here is to be an audio engineer. When we're streaming, I don't care. But when we know it's going out as a podcast, part of my job is to be an audio engineer. And if I was an audio engineer and somebody sipped on the microphone and I didn't do anything about it, I would be reticent in my duty.
We're very professional about everything we do.
Yeah, you big
on our
bunch of
podcast. So professional and not all massively reliant on Maddie just cutting out all the shit.
Maddie, help. Maddie, please. I should thank Molly B. Phantom for resubscribing. They've been subscribed for 40 months. And Haunted Coyote for resubscribing. They've been subscribed for 8 months. Thank you very much to both of you.
I should put my Ko-fi in the chat. And then if people want to Ko-fi me during this stream to pay for my medical appointment.
I mean, as if my Ko-fis don't go to the same.
No, but like people like me more. So, you know.
Oh, wow, okay. Right, well, noted. Should actually
I just Ko-fi'd you, Amy, via Tim. Thank you very much, Firefly. Yes, I have a medical appointment this week that we have to pay for because if it's a woman and you have a health problem, the NHS don't want to know.
That'll be 300 quid, please. So,
let's get to what we're here for. I think we've given it long enough for people to realise we're here and be here now.
Okay.
So, back in, I'm going to say April, I think it was around then.
Probably.
We put out an update on the Goblins feed, having realised that it actually takes a really long time to write and record a series of 9 episodes when there are 5 of you and many commitments amongst you all.
I was feeling bad about this, and then a show started being released that I'd forgotten I'd recorded because they announced they were coming out. They were working on it 3 years ago, and I recorded my stuff 2 years ago, and it just come out. So I don't feel so bad about it.
This is apparently more normal than we realised. And we said we'd make some filler content.
We don't call it filler content. We call it bonus content, so people don't feel so bad about it. We thought she'd shovel some shit into this.
It's called filler content when Amy says it so she doesn't make the pop shield go mad. With her hard B's.
Bonus. Pow. She's got the hardest of P's.
So, this is where we're going to start recording. Or cut the recording.
Yeah, we're already recording. I'm going to download this from Twitch.
One of the things that I said we would look at is some international folklore. And part of the reason for that is in the writing of Goblins, we decided we were going to stick largely to English folklore. We've strayed a little bit into some Welsh folklore because we have a Welsh producer and therefore someone who can call us out if we get it wrong. I believe maybe we've strayed a little bit into Scottish folklore. Again, we're going to have to bring in some Scottish people we know to fact check us.
Fact check the Sassenachs.
But largely we've stayed to English folklore. Having said that, it's really, really hard to delineate where folklore stories have come from.
These pricks do not keep good records.
Because of the nature of folklore. It is largely an oral tradition. Therefore, stories are told and passed along There's been a lot of travelling, some for good reasons, some for horrible colonisation reasons.
It sounds just like folklore is just like any disease.
Like any disease.
It's passed from community to community, sometimes during colonisation.
So it can often be that I'm telling a story and someone might go, oh, well, yeah, I know that story from my country, although it's slightly different in this way.
Except in our culture, the pebble is evil. And you're like, okay.
Yeah, exactly. So you might recognise things that I tell as a story that's been sent to me from one specific country. And actually, there are multiple countries that have versions of that folklore, and finding an origin is sometimes quite difficult, and more research than I'm willing to do right now.
Simply not. Yeah.
Obsessed. If I had known, I would have submitted Ledahu.
Ledahu.
I don't know how you say that. If people still want to submit stuff, you can. I don't know that I'll get to it all. I've got quite a lot already.
This is a chunky document.
This is going to be more than one session, just because I get tired very quickly, and I've got 6 countries sent to me so far. But yes, if people have other things that they want to send, stories, folklore stories from places you live or places you've been, please do feel free to send it to podcastgoblins@gmail.com, and I will try and get to it.
The in the Discord, oh my gosh, my brain. In the Twitch chat, Taco is saying, I genuinely love the genealogical trees of folktales.
Genealogical.
Oh, it says gene. I thought that was like
beautiful dyslexia moment.
I just assumed there were, because to be fair, like folklore is not above, hey, get a look at this flower. It looks like a tuppence.
We will touch on that today.
Oh, we'll touch on it, will we?
We will touch on it. We will.
Genealogical, not gynecological.
Genealogical.
But hang on, where's my OB3YN?
Oh, Pezzy says folktales was my last year of uni before COVID derailed it. Well, if people want to
acknowledge how good my joke was.
If people want to, send me more information, please do. If you have more to add on the stuff that I'm talking about today, please do put it in the chat and I will read it out, because I have done limited research on the stuff that I have been sent. Obsessed, so where can I submit my weird French goat? Wherever you like.
You know,
we'd love to hear about your weird French goats.
Email us all of your French goats.
Today we're going to talk about someone is ringing our goddamn doorbell.
Oh, Jesus.
If you want to go check who that is. I apologise, everybody. We've had lots of visitors. I'm going to wait till that's finished before I continue, because Tim left the door open. Foxglove Pal, want to mention the channel so people who only listen to the podcast know where to find you? Sure. So we are doing these live streams on the Brothers Meredith Twitch channel, which was Tim and Ben's Twitch channel. Ben is taking quite the sabbatical while he has little people at home. But Tim still streams regularly on Sundays with the wonderful Sam Ray. So please do come and join us. We will announce on our social media channels when we're doing one of these streams. So that's on Instagram, Blue Sky, Tumblr, and TikTok, although I'm bad at updating TikTok. We will announce when one of these international folklore streams is going to happen. Was it anyone interesting?
Nope. Somebody was locked out of their house and wanted me to get them into a bit of the building I can't get them into.
Oh, okay.
They seemed high.
Oh, gosh. Let's not go into that on this, but we could. Okay. So today we are going to start by looking at some folklore creatures and tales from Germany that were sent to me by Franzi. And Franzi is the transcriber for Goblins, does our transcription for all of our episodes. So someone who is very key to the Goblins podcast team. So I'm going to read out the bits that Franzi has sent to me, and then I might just add little bits that I find interesting in. Tim will add comments whenever Tim feels like adding comments.
Would you like me to hold back on
No,
that?
you're welcome to, because it means I don't have to talk constantly while my voice is disappearing. And again, if anyone has any comments on things in the chat, please feel free to add in. So, Germany has a lot of fun folklore. Much of it has been popularised by the Brothers Grimm, of course, but there are a few that are lesser known. Oh, the other thing that's worth saying is I have gone through and asked Google Translate, probably not the most accurate of services,
I can't believe you'd say this.
how I pronounce some of the names of things. So
Buckle up.
if you are from the country or speak the language which I am talking about and you want to correct me on my pronunciation,
Then go fuck yourself.
please
Oh,
do.
no, so please
I
do.
imagine there will always be at least a few people listening just to hear how much we butcher it.
Yeah. I ain't saying shit.
Back to Franzi. My favourites include the trickster Till Eulenspiegel.
It's a good start.
Till Eulenspiegel. Just a normal guy who got up to lots of mayhem and shenanigans, though perhaps there is a fey explanation for him. So, I looked up Till Eulenspiegel from the link that Franzi sent me. Oh, Foxglove Pal knows. He seemed to be known as a kind of folk hero. A little bit like a lot of my research that I've done on poltergeists when I was researching for Nyx. He played a lot of tricks and pranks on people, and apparently a lot of those tricks and pranks were related to poo.
And this is German folklore, you say?
In some way.
Huh. Related to poo. German folklore. Doesn't sound right, but there we go.
Which is true of poltergeists a lot.
More like poltergeists.
And apparently a lot of those tricks were played on craftsmen and more artisan people than they were, but also on nobles as well. Yeah. The thing that really interested me about this one was the stories of Till Eulenspiegel. I can't do that when I'm this tired.
Apparently the EU is an O-I, so like Eulenspiegel.
Eulenspiegel. Okay, yeah. Thank you. Eulenspiegel.
Oil and Spiegel. The new scent from Lacoste.
Apparently, the stories were passed with something called a chapbook. Have you heard of a chapbook?
Yeah,
before?
you buy them sort of wrapped in brown paper. You know, they weren't legal before the 90s, but, you know, quite popular.
I don't know what joke you're making.
Gay pornography. Could I have a chapbook,
Oh,
please?
I see. Okay.
Could I have a copy of the new edition of the chapbook?
So chapbooks are like little pamphlets with little stories, maybe poetry and stuff in them. And they were sold by peddlers. Mm-hmm. And I want them to come back. I guess they're like zines.
Yeah.
I guess that's
fanzines.
the closest you would get now. But I just like the idea that
it's a blog these days.
Someone's just sort of flogging them out there in public, physical copies of something.
Well, that's what Pulp Fiction kind of was, you know, cheaply printed, flogged by either small shops or like independent sellers.
I think we should all start creating chapbooks and just going out and giving them to people for
we should all start self-publishing our thoughts and walk into the street and shove them in people's faces, because that's what Twitter is.
But it's not thoughts, it's stories.
Oh.
It's storytelling, stories and poems and things.
But aren't stories just thoughts?
No.
No, okay, sorry.
Takes a bit of work, Tim. So yeah, that was the thing that interested me, because like I said, folklore largely a sorry, I just saw despite Tim, check out the Goblins podcast.
Yeah, thank you, Barnaby.
Despite it being largely oral storytelling, this is one way that we know what some of the stories were that were being told, is that we have these sources. And as we move into increasingly digital, like you say, throw everything away world, little physical copies of things that can be given would be nice to come back into more.
Maybe you could give them to a loved one for Christmas. I wrote you a weird story about an egg that ate everyone.
Tim once did a Secret Santa with his family.
Okay, well, this is now. I feel like I should. So yeah, so we did the Secret Santa thing, and we were told don't spend any money. It should be sort of like interesting and thoughtful. And so what I did is I went to a shop in Brighton called Snooper's Paradise, which kind of sells sort of weird old stuff, antiques, kind of, strange old bits and bobs. And I bought a load of different things and like old newspaper clippings and like an old box for them to go into. And then I wrote some letters that were kind of with them, and they like referred to the object. So it was like you found this box with this letter in it, and it referred to all of these strange objects that are used for inspiration. And it was sort of like weird and like folk horror-y. And I gave it to this cousin, and they opened it up and went, I don't know what this is. Closed it, put it down, never opened it again.
Aww.
That was that. Didn't read it, didn't know what it was, didn't get it.
But we should do more of those things. You just have to give them to the right person who's going to appreciate it.
Looking back on it, I gave it to the wrong person. This was not the person to give it to.
Yeah. So that was our first person. I have got links, and I can share links somewhere. I guess on a social media somewhere if people want to look up more about these characters.
We can put it in the show notes.
Yeah. The second example given by Franzi is the town musicians of Bremen.
Ah, Bremen.
A lovely stack of animals: cock over cat over dog over ass.
Ass über alles.
For those who need some translation, rooster over cat over dog over donkey.
Over that ass.
So this actually was a Brothers Grimm fairy tale, but presumably had another version long before it was recorded anywhere. And then I went down a little rabbit hole around the difference between a fairy tale and folklore. Have you got a suggestion on that, Tim, what you think the difference between a fairy tale and folklore is? Because it's not a clear definition.
I think like fairy tales are specifically kind of moralistic-y, fable-y. We're trying to teach children a lesson. Like a fairy tale is a little bit more sort of like something you specifically tell to children, and it has a moral of some kind. We're trying to teach them something. Don't go into the woods. Don't touch a spinning wheel unless you own it. Whereas folklore is sort of like any kind of non-centrally distributed story where a lot of it can be much more for entertainment value, and that's where they're a lot kind of more like violent and upsetting and weird.
And Wi-Fi, is it behaving? Someone's just said.
It looks okay. I've not got any drip frames.
Yeah, so some of that. So folklore is sense making. So it's stories that are told to make sense of things that we weren't sure what was causing them, what it meant, or big themes, existential themes.
Where does the moon go at night? I bet it's a guy who's afraid of his wife, who is the sun.
Yeah.
You know?
Fairy tales are seen as belonging to folklore traditions, so they're like a subset.
Fairy tales is folklore. Folklore isn't fairy tales.
In theory, again, I don't think any of these distinctions are super rigid.
No.
But fairy tales tend to include some kind of magic or supernatural power.
Yeah.
Whereas folklore tends to be more human, realistic.
Usual, like gingerbread houses, stuff that you'd see, you know.
So the
dogs standing on their hind legs playing the pipes, stuff you'd see.
The town musicians of Bremen, these 4 animals, aging domestic animals who had worked for their whole lives, been neglected, been mistreated, and they decide to run away and become town musicians in the city of Bremen, which was known for freedom and expression.
And still is. I'm being shouted in the chat because I said, where does the moon go at night? And Taco is saying, the moon in the shitting sky. Where does the moon go at night, Tim?
Yeah.
Sorry.
You meant in the day, perhaps?
Yeah, I meant in the day.
Yeah. So in the story, there are multiple different endings, but the ending that I looked at, these 4 animals, they don't actually make it to Bremen. They discover some bandits who are robbing a house, and they scare off the bandits who think that it's a witch or a supernatural creature. Each part of the claws of the cat and the bite of the dog, they think it all adds up to being like a witch or a mysterious creature.
So these guys are fucking stupid then.
But then the animals just move into the house together and
that sounds
have a
like
nice time living together in their house.
a better origin story for Batman, that he was a stack of a donkey, a chicken, and whatever else it was in this stack of guys.
Cock over cat over dog over ass.
Cock over cat over dog over ass. And then like found some bandits, fought crime, and then was the hero that Bremen deserved.
There are different endings, and I think in some of them they do go to Bremen.
I hope somebody.
There is a statue of them in
I
Bremen.
want someone to go to Bremen so badly.
Why?
Oh, it's historic, and it's known for culture and freedom.
So that is the Town Musicians of Bremen story.
So do they? So okay. So the story is
They run away.
okay in a stack.
No.
I thought they were traveling in a stack. So
No, they're not traveling in
okay.
a stack.
Fine. I just assumed the whole thing about this was they were constantly stacked 24/7.
No, there's just a statue of them. Where
Sorry,
they're stacked.
I misunderstood.
They were working together.
in a stack.
Sometimes when the stack was helpful
Oh, I
or
see.
required.
When
I
they needed to
imagine.
get something down from a high shelf, perhaps, or like pretend to be a much taller man.
Well, then none of them are a man.
No, but what they needed to pretend to be a man, you'd stack them up, and then you'd be like, "Oh God, look at that guy whose legs are."
We
a
have our
donkey."
own stack of animals.
We
in
do.
the living room.
We do. I believe it's a cow with a pig on top of it and a rooster on top of that, and they're holding a sign that says "Eat more fish."
That is correct.
And it's the most kitsch thing we own, and your mother got it for us.
No, I bought it for you for Christmas one
No,
year.
your mum got it for me.
No, I bought it
Did
for
you
you.
buy it for
I
me?
bought it for you. From TK Maxx.
Nice. TK Maxx. I don't know. This? TK Maxx.
Then we have the Wolpertinger.
A Wolpertinger.
I like this story for a specific reason. So this is what Franzi said. The Wolpertinger is much like the haggis, a mythical creature living in the hills and mountains, especially the alpine forests.
Yeah.
It's similar to a jackalope
Oh, yeah.
from North America. And it's definitely responsible for every single skiing accident I ever had. I didn't lose control. I tripped over a Wolpertinger. What are you saying?
Okay, I think there might be a little bit of editorialization happening in that explanation.
But that is folklore. Folklore is
Yeah.
what's an explanation for something.
Yeah, I didn't set fire to the barn. It was the barn fire guy.
And that's an interesting thing that I don't think we've played with enough yet.
What
in
the folklore
goblins.
is kind of an
Folklore
excuse.
is written from the human's point of view. And so,
And then-
so the
and-
creatures are often responsible for something that humans are responsible for.
Yes, is that you were
but
talking
they
about
take
this
the blame.
the other day? Is that a tulpa?
What?
A tulpa where the belief comes first, and then the thing that like the being that forms from it is a tulpa.
Oh, I didn't talk to you about this. Maybe
Oh.
you talked to Imogen about it?
Maybe I spoke to Imogen about this. Oh no, Karen says I've misunderstood what a tulpa is. What's the thing where the belief comes first, and then the idea is that the god or spirit forms out of that belief of that thing. So if everyone believes that there is a tooth fairy, then the tooth fairy is a thing, but kind of not because the tooth fairy is a thing and people believe in it, but because people believe in it, and therefore the tooth fairy is a thing.
I have no idea.
No, oh, well,
Bloody Baron's
we'll have to
cosplay
chat.
says, "Ooh, Wolpertinger. We also have a lot of them. Where are you? 'Cause
Where are
it's
you,
always
Bloody Baron's
interesting to
cosplay?
know
Also,
the
thank you,
different countries.
thank you, Karen, for subscribing. You got here a little
You
late.
spoke about tulpas on stream to Sam, says Veressa.
Oh, was it to Sam? Sam, Amy, all the same people. as
So
far as I'm
Foxglove
concerned.
Pal has put a picture of a Wolpertinger in the chat.
I'm gonna have a look at this picture.
They now get sold as like kitsch statues.
Yeah, that is very jackalope-esque,
Where
isn't it?
you just get like a stuffed bunny rabbit with
Yeah.
some antlers that have been stuck on it.
Yeah, that is a bunny rabbit that has crashed into a tiny deer
And has wings.
and has
as well.
wings
Also,
and
bloody
fangs.
Bloody Baroness cosplay is in Austria, so that makes sense. That there's also that folklore has spread there or came the other way, who knows. So there are lots of woodcuts and engravings of Wolpertinger, which is how we know that the idea goes back. Again, I just like that as different ways that we know about these things
Yeah.
from a largely oral tradition. They're described as having wings, antlers, tails, and fangs.
Tails. Tails plural.
Oh, it says a tail and fangs. And I like that because I just really enjoy folklore that involves various creatures being mashed together.
Yeah.
There's a human fascination with the idea that we just wang bits of different things together.
The island of Dr. Moreau, I believe, is all about that.
What's that?
I can't remember. Is that an Edgar Allan No, I don't know. It's like I know it is like a Hammer horror sort of style film, and I think it's maybe gothic horror. Anyway, somebody will know who it's by. But basically, it's this doctor who lives on an island, and then they visit, and then they realise, oh, hang on a minute, he's fusing animals with people. I believe you're a vivisectionist.
There's there's a Simpsons episode that
it's
references
Wells. It's H.G. Wells.
Isn't there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Milk me! That's Flanders shouting, milk me.
This is the other element that I said we were going to touch on. So in theory, there are stories that Volpertinger only show themselves to beautiful maidens on a full moon.
That's why I've seen them.
If they are taken into secluded parts of the Bavarian forests by the right man.
I'll take you into the secluded part of the Bavarian forest while being the right. Okay.
So you get a lot of that in folklore. You get a lot of, if a maiden cries on this day, she'll see this in a secluded meadow somewhere. And
which sounds like an excuse for why you both got found in a secluded meadow looking quite dishevelled and tired. You're like, because we found the Volpertinger, actually. Oh God, we found it so many times.
And if we're talking about, don't read it out. If we're talking, if we're talking about cultural references of Volpertinger, they are in World of Warcraft. You can have one as a pet in World of Warcraft. In
podcast audience is missing some great stuff in the chat. Let me tell you.
Sweden, they're known as the Skavada.
Yeah, I bet they are.
Austrian, apparently, and you can tell me about this, Bloody Baroness, because you've said you know them as Volpertinger. But known apparently as Raurakel.
Raurakel.
I don't know how you pronounce that.
That's a Pokemon. Raurakel.
I'm not sure I'm pronouncing
Let me look.
that
Where
correctly. There.
Raurakel. Raurakel. Hello. It is Raurakel. Perfect.
That was something, wasn't it?
I'm Swedish. Raurakel.
Bloody Baroness cosplay says not Volpertinger, but there is an Austrian folklore about it being forbidden to hunt on Good Friday, or you get made fun of by immortal bunnies.
Or you get hunted by the Wild Hunt is the other option, which I think might be worst.
Yeah, I just like the idea of being haunted by immortal bunnies.
Yeah. Boing, boing. You look like an idiot. Boing, boing.
The Wild Hunt is for Christmas, and immortal bunny is for the rest of your life and afterlife.
Yeah. That's how the advert goes. Oh dear.
So, and then Franzi has said not folklore, but a national conspiracy is
Hang on. What? Where's this going? Go on.
Just being interrupted by Tim now. He's too busy trying to read the chat.
Oh, I thought it was up there. Oh,
No.
sorry. I was looking for this in chat.
Francie says not folklore, but a national conspiracy is the running joke that the city of Bielefeld doesn't actually exist. Nobody knows anyone who's from there or been there, and if you do, then either you or they are lying. Even Angela Merkel has publicly made this joke during her time as Chancellor. And I looked this up. This is a thing that started in 1994.
Modern folklore.
Because someone made a joke about it on a forum somewhere.
Yeah. Well, you know what? That's because that's urban myth. Urban myth to folklore is just modernism, as far as I'm concerned. Like urban myths are just folklore.
Tim's hosting a philosophy seminar now.
What? No, I'm just defining.
Urban myth to folklore is just. What did you say? It's just.
I don't know what I said because I was too distracted by how much I was demeaned just there. But no, all an urban myth is folklore that's not old enough to have the kind of sheen of respectability.
Yeah. It was just the phrasing made me laugh the way you said it.
You like it when Stephen Fry talks all fancy, but when I talk all fancy, you take the piss.
Karen says, is that kind of like Finland doesn't exist because it's a statistical error? I haven't heard that before.
I've not heard that.
Pezzicaos says, so Norfolk.
Yeah, it's a real Norfolk situation. I know there is a lot of like Norwegian and Swedish shade thrown on the Finns. I know there's a lot of like, Finnish.
See, this is really interesting in terms of like folklore and how things spread. But Bloody Baroness cosplay says, actually, I heard the term Raralkal first time last year, so maybe not my region. We're all divided by mountains. Historically, one village has no idea what the other one does.
And I suppose that is quite similar to the UK in that we have sort of incredibly segmented traditions and accents and things like that. So, like, you'll have Nottinghamshire folklore, which is completely different to Lincolnshire folklore.
Yeah, and there are a lot of phrases that I use that Tim will go, what?
Yeah, I won't know what you're talking about.
And it's just a Lincolnshireism.
And some of them are not even Lincolnshireisms, they're just things your
they're
mother
just
says.
Marianisms. And then finally, the last thing Franzi has said is, another really fun thing about German, is the fact that basically everything is a kobold in German. Goblins, leprechauns, gnomes, pixies, they're all kobold. That's never caused confusion when playing TTRPGs or listening to Rusty Quill Gaming and encountering Scrack for the first time or anything.
No.
So I found this really interesting because I knew the term kobold from The Witcher.
Yeah.
And in The Witcher, it's a spirit who haunts houses or lives underground in caves and mines.
Which is still quite disparate. Like houses.
Oh, sorry,
or
no,
mines.
that was when I looked up kobold generally.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then in Witcher 3, small ogreoids with a dog-shaped face that dwell in wild forests and various types of underground caverns.
Oh no, so I think you just found my Hinge profile.
You follow that link and you get to knockers, which are English folklore, and they live in mines. Sometimes
and they make the knocking sound.
Sometimes they're helpful, sometimes they're not. You need to leave them bits of your lunch.
They
and then they will warn you of incoming collapses and things like that.
In Terry Pratchett, the knockers are dwarves who walk around with flames on the ends of sticks to try and find pockets of natural gas.
Yeah. But interesting because you do find that a lot. So that might be the case in Germany, that it's kobold that's the term. But you find that with fae and fairy. What is considered a fairy or part of the fae?
And we are differentiating between them for our purposes of story in the podcast. And the number of times I've been like, hang on a minute, is this the fairy? Is it? Oh no, for us
we're
it's
not.
Like, no.
They're the same thing.
The fae are the community is the fae. Fairies are the people in charge in our version of things. But then elves.
Fairy and fae are the same thing in goblins.
Well, that's news to me, and I've written a big chunk of it. So let's see if I'm
pretty sure we've talked about this multiple times in
very
recording,
possibly.
and we use the terms interchangeably.
Yeah,
I think we generally use.
I think of the Fae as like the land of Fae, the land of the Fae.
It's really fun when you get like we've written over half of the series and we're realizing that Tim is seeing this completely differently.
It'll bring
to
an
the
extra
rest of
spice.
us.
It'll bring an extra spice. I write my own stuff.
When I think we talk about the Fae as like the Fae Council and like the people in charge as a whole, and then you can have like you kind of have individual fairies. We don't really use Fae as a term to refer to a specific.
No, I don't go. Look, it's a Fae, but we call them the Fae. Yeah, okay.
But there are a lot of arguments about this.
Yeah.
If you look too deeply into it on the internet, there are a lot of people arguing about Fae being co-opted and not used correctly, and we are very much part of that tradition.
Oh yeah. Oh, and Veresima has mentioned here, fairies, F-A-E-R-I-E-S, does not equal fairy, F-A-R-Y. Maybe that's why Tim is confused. In that, you can talk about, like, Tinkerbell is a fairy. But then there is, like, the fairy queen Titania is nothing to do with a twinkly little Victorian...
Fairies have changed dramatically over the years, and bringing up Titania is a good point because Shakespeare was part of the reason that views of fairies changed, and they've gone from sometimes being referred to as tiny little sweet creatures to evil enchanters to terrifying melt your face off creatures. So like there are lots and lots of different ideas out there about what constitutes
the
fae and what
Cottingley
fairies,
which is that photograph, like that doctored photograph that tricked Arthur Conan Doyle and caused him to fall out massively with what's his face, Houdini. That and all of the kind of like contacting the dead stuff, because Houdini was like, magic is pretend, and Arthur Conan Doyle was like, no, my great friend, you are clearly a magical guy. And Houdini was like, I'm not magic, and this isn't magic. And they massively fell out.
Oh, dear.
Yeah. Taco.
No, we're not reading.
Oh no, I was going to clean it up.
It's fine. Because I need to get on with stuff because otherwise
sorry.
we're gonna run out of time.
I'll do it
so
quickly.
unless it's directly referencing folklore, then I'm not reading things out.
You'll never know.
So we do this with trolls in goblins. We do a thing with trolls because trolls, again, Scandinavian folklore much more than English folklore, but they are known as creatures in English folklore. We've gone with the thing of trolls are creatures where people can't always quite tell what they are, and they can appear like others. So we've got a choice now.
Oh.
We can keep going and we can do some Swedish folklore, or we can do that another time. We're at 50 minutes, but we're obviously going to cut some of that off.
You know what? I think because how many you've got six regions, haven't you?
Yeah.
Should we do two?
Two at a time.
And then we do two at a time.
Cool.
And we
Okay.
enjoy ourselves.
So these are. Thank you, Franzi, for all of that folklore from Germany. These are from Tyra. These are elements of Swedish folklore. So in Sweden, we have, among other, and again, I think Väsen is how you say it, which I think means being or creature. The Skogsrå and the Searå, who are protectors of the forest and the lake, respectively. They have the shape of a beautiful nude woman, and sometimes they have hollow backs. I couldn't work out what that meant.
Just like like your spine's a cubby.
Like how hollow is there? Just nothing there? Because then if you have a hollow back, you have a hollow chest as well.
Yeah. If you're
or
hollow,
is it just the back?
If you're hollow all the way through, then that's just a space.
They often lure men to their deaths.
Women, am I right?
And obviously, women who lure men to their deaths is all over the place in folklore. Mermaids, sirens,
sea women,
all sorts.
I'm walking down the street and all of a sudden I'm being tempted into the sea by women, and I won't stand for it. God forbid men should have hobbies like not being lured into the sea by women.
And it also says one way to get free from their thrall is to take off your jacket, and then put it back on inside out and the wrong way. And we say that in English folklore for pixies. You need to turn like your pockets inside out or turn your jacket inside out, and that will stop them
Is that
from
just
being
to show
able
them
to
that you have no
confuse you.
coins?
Don't know. It's just interesting that these are things that travel across different folklore as ways to stop a creature having an effect on you. It's turn your clothes inside out in some way.
Maybe a tailor was like, I just really want to know what the linings of everyone's jackets are like, so I'll start spreading this story and then go out at night and pretend to lure you into the sea.
There's also the Naken, who is a nude dude. So we've had the nude lady.
He's called the Naken.
We now have the nude dude. He plays the violin and lures people with his violin playing into the river to drown.
Because the sea is the women's domain, but the rivers are for men.
There is a connection or stories around the idea of selling one's soul to learn to play the violin. And Naken, sometimes it's that the Naken sold his soul to the devil for the ability, and sometimes it's that you could trade your soul with him.
You can swap souls.
We have included a character in Goblins from English folklore called Jack O'Kent.
We have.
And Jack O'Kent has sold his soul to the devil. And one of the things that he's got from that is the ability to play the guitar.
And sing beautifully.
Yeah. Also linked to another English folklore creature who has made it into Goblins, which is Jenny Greenteeth.
Oh, yes, which I first discovered reading The Wee Free Men as a child.
Who is a Grindilo, which I think is French. So
Le Grindilo.
It all
Monsieur.
Overlaps at certain points. So I've seen a couple of people mention these existing in Norwegian folklore. Yep, I've got that down here. Lots of different names in different cultures. So we've got the Melusine in France, the Hyana in Spain, Rusalka in Slavic countries, And then in the Norwegian folklore, I don't know how you pronounce it, but it's
Huldra.
similar, isn't it?
Huldra.
Nakken or Skrogs. I think I've got that later down with a proper pronunciation.
What are you saying about my pronunciation? Perfect.
So yeah, this is something that exists in multiple different cultures, particularly Germanic and Scandinavian cultures, linked to the Nuka in English folklore as well.
The waterholes dwelling dragons.
Not necessarily malevolent, sometimes just likes entertaining people.
Yeah, just a fun guy.
With playing some nice music, can shapeshift, so isn't always in the form of a man, sometimes in the form of a white horse, known as the Brook horse, which is linked to the Scottish Kelpie. Which is also, I was talking to Tim about this when I was looking it up, and it's in The Witcher, that Ciri's horse, which often appears over water with the time travel. It's called Kelpie, but is a black horse. Was thought to be most active during Midsummer's Night, Christmas Eve, and Thursdays. Enjoyed the specificity there.
On Witness Eve, on the Scarrow Day, and also Tuesdays, we'll be around.
You get a lot of that in folklore, which obviously we reference in the pilot. That
when a moonless
you get these
night
really specific
occurs in the presence of a pregnant cow, also at Sainsbury's.
And cobalt came up linked here as well as another term that can be used. What was the other thing here that I was going to say? Oh, yes. So these stories changed as Scandinavian countries were Christianized. So before that, it was like, oh, we lure anyone in the water. If you're lured by music, if the music speaks to you. Christians came along and it's like, nope, pregnant women and unbaptized babies.
The two main enemies of the church. These pregnant women and these unbaptized babies have got to go.
And in a link to some stuff that we've looked up about the Fae and researched, or fairies in English culture, they can be defeated if you call them by their name.
Rick, get out of here. Rick, get out of here. Oh, there he goes.
I'm not sure if that's like...
Is that what the film Call Me By Your Name is about?
We don't talk about that film. It will devolve so quickly.
Just watch all of Call Me By Your Name, and then you just work out if they just called him by his name, it would have gone away.
Love the Night Sky says that was actually a decent pronunciation of Huldra.
Huldra.
Did you pronounce it or did I?
Huldra.
I don't remember saying that word.
I did it, and I did it great and perfectly.
I was gonna say.
And all of Norway clapped. But only once, and they didn't smile, because that's how they are.
So like different folklore. I can see people saying in chat in Norwegian folklore, they're usually in lakes. So yes, different, slightly different variations.
Bloody Baroness Cosplay, hold on, can be defeated by their names. Is Rumpelstiltskin a fae? I would suspect that it's all from the same kind of tradition.
I imagine there's a lot of things bleeding into each other.
He is very magic, Rumpelstiltskin. Like he is a very magical guy.
You get a lot of stories that borrow from here and have elements of this, and it does all sort of link into each other. Yeah. The next thing we have is Mælingjar. They are the ghosts of babies who are abandoned to die or outright killed without getting baptized. So again, I'm not sure if this links to the Christianization stuff or not.
Well, I mean, if it's baptized, then probably.
Yeah. One way to give them peace or help them move on is to give them a name, or to bury them. Apparently, I read a story somewhere, I might have written this further down, where Mælingjar would jump on the back of travellers and insist that they took them to a graveyard to bury them. And the closer you got to the graveyard, the heavier they would get and the harder they would get to carry.
Which seems counterintuitive given their goals, but there you go.
The word comes from Old Norse, so you get a lot of this actually. Where I was looking at the Naken, that word comes from an old Icelandic word, whereas Mælingja comes from Old Norse. Oh yeah, just say here Christian tradition. This also comes up in The Witcher 3. You brought this up to me
yes.
when I was telling you about it.
Yes, early on.
In The Witcher 3, it's called a botchling.
Yes.
And they prey on pregnant women by sapping their strength. A botchling's curse can be lifted by transforming it into a lubberkin, a guardian spirit of the hearth that watches over the family it never knew in the house it could never call home.
Christ.
I know. How intense.
Very intense. Very intense.
I thought you'd seen something you were going to read out.
Taco saying, looking at the great Jenny Greenteeth page, links to Peg Prowler, Nellie Longarms, and other such hits, who all were women with long arms who lived in the waters to reach out to drag children in.
Yeah, they're very specific about the name of the Grundilo living in different regions of northern England.
Because in a lot of other traditions, it's sort of like, it's the dog of this or the dog of that, and it's not specific. But with these specific ones, it's Nellie Longarms.
We very specifically looked up that Jenny Greenteeth was from Lancaster.
Yeah, and got a Lancastrian actor.
Yes.
To act.
So again, across multiple countries, I'm going to give it a go at some pronunciation. We have versions of the Mælinga. So Utbird in Norwegian, Utbuta in Icelandic, and Itireko in Finnish.
Itireko.
If Saris was here, she would tell me off for my
she'd
bad
say-
Finnish
she would say,
pronunciation.
well done for trying, because Finnish is a silly language and they should all buck their ideas up.
Itireko. I hope that's correct.
And if it's not, write it on a stone and chuck it in the sea.
And then in current popular culture, the Mælinga can be found in the game Year Walk. Have you heard of the game Year Walk? I've never heard of it before. You find Mælings and you put them into the care of the brook horse. So that links one thing back to the other.
Yeah.
And I hadn't read that anywhere else.
No, never
that you
heard of
take
it.
one folkloric creature and you just give it to another one. And that's how you solve the issue. But that's things sort of...
It'd be good if you could oh no, I've got this Rumpelstiltskin. I'll just give him to a tooth fairy and then they sort it out.
The Mara, or Nat Mara, is a creature who would sit on the chest of sleeping people and give them nightmares, from which we get the more archaic Marit and modern Mardrem words for nightmare in Swedish. I looked this up. Tim is going to find it really funny because every single Swedish website says they sit on the chest of sleeping people and ride them.
And I think that's perfectly reasonable.
Which apparently just involves squatting.
Yeah, that's absolutely
squatting on the chest.
Yeah.
They're
All
very
the way to
pale
Dreamland.
women, often very skinny, pale women with long black hair and nails, and wearing a nightgown, which just sounds like the Ring to me.
I say that does sound like Ringu.
The Mara could shapeshift into sand and slip into even the tiniest crack in the wall. That's how they get in and out. And they're likened to banshees in other folkloric tradition. I knew it from Hilda.
Oh,
from
yes.
the animated
animation.
TV version of the comic
Yeah.
Hilda, which has a lot of Swedish folklore in it.
I just knew it was like the sleep paralysis demon thing.
Yeah, and the idea is that it drains your energy. Bloody
yes.
Baroness cosplay said the same thing. The thing's called Nachtmar or Nachtalb in German. Like Albtraum, which is nightmare. It's basically sleep paralysis.
Yeah.
And then finally, this links because some people in the chat were talking about changelings earlier when we were talking about the Mælinga. This is there's a website, again, I can put the link in show notes for this, called The Land of Legends, or Sorgobigden in the original Swedish.
She drove me here.
It's an organisation that's collected stories from a region of southern Sweden, and they have a webpage, an English webpage with all the stories, and then it shows you all the different sites that you can go and visit if you go to Sweden with all the folklore about them. And on there is a story of Per and Kirsten from Rukla, and in that story, Kirsten gets kidnapped and replaced by trolls. And there's apparently a song about this called...
Trolls plural.
It says trolls on here, called Rukla Vision. And Kirsten is replaced by an Olebild, which is essentially a very similar thing to what I've read in Changeling stories.
Yeah.
Which is a piece of wood shaped like the person who's been replaced, and it's given temporary life, but it slowly wastes away and mimics someone dying of sickness. So we can see the reasoning behind this.
Your loved one suddenly gets sick and died, and it's in some ways easier to process. No, they're not dead. They were replaced by someone different.
So in this particular story of Per and Kirsten, apparently Kirsten was could be seen on a Christmas Eve, sitting on a rock brushing her hair. And it's the only time that she was seen.
When in fact what happened is they got tuberculosis. Or typhoid.
But what that reminded me of was a book called Cuckoo Song by Frances Hardinger, which I read not that long ago, which has a young girl who is replaced by a version of her that looks to everybody else like the girl who has been replaced, but like when she wakes up in the morning there's leaves and twigs on her pillow, and when she brushes her hair there's leaves and twigs in her
It sounds like she's just been gardening at night.
And then that's how she realizes that she is
a night gardener,
what they would call in this story an Olebild, which is and she's got 7 days, and she's got 7 days to find the real version of her, or she dies.
Tuberculosis? How are you feeling about that? Tuberculosis.
She cries cobwebs.
Well, I mean, look, we all cry cobwebs, you know?
So, yes.
She's not special. We all cry cobwebs.
So, yes, changelings link into that story as well. So, changelings often considered to be something to do with the fae or fairies, but in this story, linked to trolls. But I don't know why.
Neither do I.
Different elements of different stories go together in different folklore and different retellings.
Yeah, because like your weird granddad misheard 2 of them, says them to you. You have 86 children because it's the past. Fantastic. Yeah. You've got a new branch of folklore.
So there we go. That's some folklore from Germany and some folklore from Sweden.
Well, thank you all for joining us for those 2. We will be back another time with folklore from what's our next 2 countries?
I'm going to have a look right now. You talk for a little bit while I get the
I'm
emails
a famous bloviator, as you well know.
My head hurts so much
My head
right
hurts
now.
too.
I'm not quite sure of anything that I've said today. Why?
Sorry, I know in the chat, Anonymous. That's so fascinating. Then begins to cry cobwebs. Oh, Inkstain Danny has unfortunately missed it, but don't you worry. You can watch this back, and also I'm going to edit this down a little bit, and we'll put it out as a podcast as well. But yes, hopefully we'll get to hear some folklore from other countries. You can still send in some folklore, but
I can't tell you because for some reason my email has just logged me out of Goblin's email completely for no apparent reason.
Oh no.
It's just decided I'm not allowed that anymore.
It'll probably be one of France, Spain, Austria.
He's just saying random
Hungary.
countries. None of these are the countries that it is.
Well, then if you know which southern...
I just know it's not those.
No, okay, you know what it's not, but you don't know what it is. Well, some other countries. And hang on, I'll look at the Ko-fi. I'll look at the Ko-fi. Hang on, what we'll do is I'll do some audio for the thing. Thank you so much for joining us for the first episode of the International Folklore Podcast. We will hopefully be back again another time so we can hear more of your different countries' folkloric traditions.
I'm really impressed neither of us have killed each other in the last hour.
I've been having a lovely time. I've cheered up.
I've got angry at you about 50 times.
I mean, sure.
So ill.
So, okay. Right, now we've done that bit. I can check this.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, Danny. We'll be back soon. You'll see. I'll remember you. Okay, can't. That's copyrighted.
Yes, please do feel free to send in more.
Thank you very much, Firefly, for donating over Ko-fi, saying it's not much, but maybe something small from the drugstore to help you both feel better. A small sweet treat or tea or whatnot. So sorry you're ill. Sending love. Thank you very much, Firefly. And thank you very much to Chris, whose monthly donation happened to come in today as well. Thank you very much indeed. We shall see you all again very, very soon. I hope you have lovely evenings. Goodbye.
Don't worry, there's nothing wrong.